current world. Egerton University, transforming lives through quality education.
Kaniumbua anavyonidadavua vitu fulani vya kusisimua, chachambu anavyoichambua, unipa ning'ate mikato nikatekate, igande ina tenate, itelezeshwe kwa mate, yala 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 yala
Oh, it is a more
new dawn, you're free. Do as you please. What do you mean now? Free. You can believe it is a new dawn, you luta. Good morning. All about choices, hakuna huruma. Good morning. We're going global now, going global now. Oh, good morning. Rise up and shine is your time. Grind, pay a price, sacrifice, then make it. Baby, please roll me a blunt. I wanna smoke then. Hey. Good morning. Good morning, Africa, it's me from your capital, Nairobi. Good morning. Good morning, Africa, it's me from your capital, Nairobi. You can't claim you back, so fuck off and let no one salivate. Africa tunakuja mdogo bana. Papers and liquor are all that I chase. Mimi Africa, gilala mawek. Africa tunakuja mdogo bana. Good morning. Africa tunakuja mdogo bana. It's me from your capital, Nairobi. Good morning. Good morning, Africa. It's me from your capital, Nairobi. Good morning.
Oh.
Ayo, my youth. I know you have tried everything in this world. You could find the solution. Try Jesus. I watch a know his big brand music. You better know.
Water, road.
Try Jesus. Try Jesus. Try Jesus. He's bigger than your problems. Try Jesus. Try Jesus. Try Jesus. He's bigger than your problems. First of all, let me introduce you to my King of Kings, the Lion of Judah, the ruler of the universe, Elevator, Vindicator, Power Terminator. His name is Jesus. Back then, before he was a freakhead, I went astray. But now I'm a newcomer, born in this kingdom. Keep it in mind, you're the productive seed. Keep it in. Put us on Jesus. With men it's impossible. With God it's possible. Now put us on people. Try.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me, hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up, let the speakers boom. Go.
We hustle.
We go through.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. You, irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Coilib for my business has really been a point of growth because I've seen my business move from one point to another. And you know, with Coilib, you get to understand the business aspect of it and how to make money.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. You, irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate. We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up, let the speakers boom. Go.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. You, irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate. We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up, let the speakers boom. Go.
And to all Egerton comrades, I want to thank you for this opportunity. So, my name is Cynthia Wanini, first female president since 1939. We've never inception of the school, and it has been an amazing opportunity. It has been a great platform, and I have served in many various capacities in Egerton University, and that is basically who I am. I am a leader, I am a lady, and I am one who believes in shaping the future of leadership in Africa. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. We kick this off with this question. You mentioned during your manifesto launch, you will see into the students' mothers. Could you share more insight on this?
On top of being the school president, I take Bachelor of Psychology. And in future, if all things go well, I would like to be involved in child psychology. So that shows you how much involved and concerned I am, and I was, and I still am, about the student mothers. We have done quite a lot, I can admit. So the student mothers is handled in the Department of Gender, and in the Department of Gender from Egerton University Student Association, and in collaboration with the Congress Gender, we had a daycare that used to function before we came into office, and our first goal was to revive the daycare center, and we wanted to offer affordable prices for the daycare center, as low as 50 shillings for our student mothers to be able to take care of their children as they also study. But then along the way we have realized, and by the way it is up and running, but the biggest problem is our student moms' greatest problem is not having people to take care of their children, but we realize that they have problems to do with pampers. They don't have pampers, they don't have food for their children, and so that is a bigger problem that was beyond Eusa. And so we have been writing various proposals to organizations like FIDA, so that they can come on board and give us this funding that we require for our student moms. So that is as far as we have gone. And our term is not yet over. We still have a few more months so that we can call it quits. So we are still doing our work na hatujaretire bado. So a lot is going on in the student mothers.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, vile Bi Cynthia, utuzaji wa misaada wa kifedha wa Eusa kwa sehemu fulani ulikuwa na siasa, kwa sababu viongozi wengi walitumia fursa hii kuwazawadia watu wao waaminifu kisiasa badala ya wanafunzi wenye uhitaji. Je, unakubaliana na tuhuma hizi?
I don't know where the corruption issues came in. I would like you to clarify.
Yeah, just a point of clarity, Madam Chair. Awarding of the Eusa bursaries to some point was political, in that these leaders used the Eusa bursaries to award their loyalists in the expense of the needy. Could you please provide any insight or any details about this?
Okay. I know beyond a shadow of doubt that there is no evidence that there were corrupt deals in the issuing of the bursaries. I personally was involved in the issuing of in the recruitment process for bursaries. What we do with bursaries is we issue bursaries every beginning of every semester, and we have set aside close to 2.5 million for bursaries and work study programs. And what we do is we have over 18,000 students in Egerton, and we have very many needy students. That is right. We have very many needy students. So what we do is we carry out interviews that will ascertain the level of need of a certain student, and according to the need, we give the bursaries and the work study. And it has been done fairly in my term. And so that is what I can say about that.
Just to add something, I've heard you say there is no evidence. To me, this is something that took place, but the evidence was cleared, or what were you trying to say? Could you clarify that statement? On top of that, would you also give us the criteria that you people used to discern those ones who are going, the panel that is going to be there and take part or take charge during the interview, having the information that this time Eusa took a larger percentage in those ones who were doing the interviews?
Okay. I would like you to authenticate your claims because it can lead you into problems. But anyway, according to how we do it, we have a peer counselor in a panel. A panel consists of 3 people. We have a peer counselor, a student counselor, and a student leader. So that whole panel now is the one that evaluates people based on their level of need. And we look at, do you have a fee balance? How have you been paying your fee in the past? What has made you not be able to pay your fee right now? And and based on that, that is how we award marks, and people with the highest marks based on those issues, they are the ones that we award the bursaries and the work study programs.
Thank you. As a leader or as a chairperson of the EUSA, I believe you personally who have taken charge or taken part of the during this process, and you can weigh line and say the exact number of those who benefited in this the previous work study program. If you don't mind, will you share some more insights on the same?
Amazing. So we managed to, I've said we set aside exactly 2.5 million. That means that is around 1.25 every semester. And so we have been able to help over 400 students in terms of bursary and work study.
Okay. About the claims, what was happening is that in your present sentences, you had constructed and said that we have no evidence, and that was the question, that maybe there is something, but being that there is no provision of any evidence, then it will go that way.
Balozi, you are really concentrating on minute things, but what I am saying is, when there is no evidence, it means the action was not done, according to me. When there is no evidence, even when you go to court today and you claim that I stole your chicken, if there is no evidence that I stole it, I still remain innocent until proven guilty. So that is why I said there is no evidence concerning that. Okay. Yes.
So we blame it on the grammatical constructions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, mwenyekiti, kuhusu tofauti zenu na makamu mwenyekiti wa EUSA, je, hayafiki utoaji wa huduma na kugawanya baraza la waziri la EUSA? Kwani wanapaswa kuchukua upande? Kuna fununu kuwa ulikuwa na tofauti na makamu wa EUSA.
I'm glad the way you are phrasing the question that they are claims. And you will never ascertain to claims. My vice chair, we have walked the journey together. It's been a long journey. We vied together, campaigned together, vouched for votes together. We have worked together. Even according to the EUSA constitution, his mandate, he has his own mandate. I have my own mandate. The treasurer has her own mandate, the SecGen, as well as every other member in the SGC. And I believe that we have worked, we have joined hands in connection to our roles, and we have done what is necessary. He is basically in charge of welfare, in charge of meal cards, in charge of ensuring that the overall welfare of students is taken care of, and he has done that marvelously. I, on the other hand, have done what I am supposed to do and what is mandated to be in the Constitution. So those are just claims, and tunasonga. Yes. So,
Madam Chair, your absconding on the parliamentary sessions has opened a can of worms among your congresses and the SGCs. This thereby ruining your reputation your relation between you and your vice chairperson. Could you ascertain to my claims?
I cannot ascertain to your claims.
You having attended 2 out of 4 parliamentary sessions.
Let me say that you should get your facts straight. I have not attended 2 out of 4 parliamentary sessions. I have attended, my basic mandate or my overall mandate is to look for the overall welfare of students.
Then maybe you could help us with the number of parliamentary sessions you've attended.
My mandate is to look at the overall welfare of students. And every time I am not in school during a parliamentary session, you can be sure that I have an official duty to attend to at that specific time. So, and everything that is supposed to be done in Parliament and every mandate that I am supposed to accomplish in Parliament, being an ex-official member, I have already done it, and so there is no cause for alarm for that.
Amen. Now, Je, unafikiri nini kuhusu mafanikio yako, urithi ambao utaenda chini kwenye historia kama kiongozi wa chuo kikuu cha Egerton?
Amazing. I feel I've done a lot. We took office on 5th of May, and it has been quite a journey. It has been quite a journey, and we have managed to achieve quite a lot. We came at a very tough time when the school was going to another direction, was taking another direction, where the school was to get rid of every F and missing marks. Because of the high number of Fs and missing marks, the graduation rate in Egerton University had gone as low as 30%. Mm-hmm. And that was not okay, because that one would also contribute to a high rate of unemployment in the overall, even towards the country. Mm-hmm. So the Commission for University Education came in 2019, and they wanted to ensure that the graduation rate goes back to as high as more than 70%, because we cannot account for the number of students who are leaving school and they have not graduated, they don't have official certificates. So it was a tough time, and the Commission for University Education had given the university 5 years to ensure that they clear that mess. And so what happened is there was amnesty after amnesty. From 2019, amnesty after amnesty, until it became too late. If you count 5 years from 2019, we are in 2024, and I joined in 2023-2024 academic year. Mm-hmm. So you will find that this was the last time this one had to be implemented at such a time. If you remember very well, in 2021, I was also affected. And this is where the school also chose another path, where nobody was to be registered with finance if they had not finished their school fees. And we saw many people go home. It was very sad. It was very unfortunate. The same case with the retakes and the receipts issue. It was very sad. People had to do retakes. But as a leader of Eusa, I had two options, by the way, and I always admit this. And the first option was to hold a strike for people to fight for their rights and go on the streets. But where would that have led us? That would have led us in people dying due to the riots, in students going back home, there being longer breaks than we could handle. Sure. If you look at the stroke 17 and stroke 18 cohorts, they stayed here longer than anticipated. And the second option was to accept it and to lobby for it. And we managed to accept and to lobby for it, and we told them, if you are going to have retakes, we cannot have a student repeating a whole year because of failing one unit. What you are going to do is that student should retake the unit, and that one was not provided for in the statutes of the Egerton University. And so this was a recommendation we made through the office of the registrar to the vice chancellor, to the UMB, and later to the council, and they accepted it, and that is how our students were saved from having to repeat a whole year due to the retakes. So it has been a tough time. That was the first achievement that we did. And also, according to my manifesto, we had our goal was to mentor and to grow the clubs. And we managed to have a very successful clubs and association day, where we got to have very many companies on board, and where we got to have an amazing time, and clubs and associations showcased what they have. Not only that, we had, at the very beginning of it, we had PWD. We hosted the Nakuru region, the PWD awareness. And it was in Egerton University. It was a beautiful event and an amazing event. Not only that, I have said we are not done with our term. We are having Cultural Week this year, early Feb, tentatively on February, and it is going to be bigger and better. And we have done so many beautiful things in our own capacities. I'm not talking on my own behalf, but I'm talking on behalf of each faculty congress, each halls congress, each special congress, each member of the SGC. They have all worked in their own various capacities, and I can say we have done a very good job. I'm proud of Eusa 2023-2024.
Yeah, Madam Chair, On to your point, you've said that you organized for the club's day. In your manifesto, the third point on the students' welfare, you have out and roll out the Okoa Comrades Initiative by engaging on campus clubs and associations and potential other funders in resource mobilization. Again, you have needy students are safeguarded through provision of sufficient milk vouchers, supplemented. And on the run-up to the last semester's examination, the meal cards were provided late. And you had leaders lament, others issue tarnishing words and garnishing affluence from their mouth. Could you defend these?
Okay. If you have been in Egerton long enough, you will notice that we issue meal cards always towards the end of every semester, because we always assume that towards the end, everybody is on their knees financially and economically, and that is when we are doing our exams. And
so you're trying to mean you issue they are to be issued before exams?
Yes, they should be issued just during exams.
Just during exams.
And I think that is what happened.
But in this case, we had it get into exams like a week inside exams, the first week during examinations, and that is contrary to what was in your manifesto.
What was in my manifesto concerning the issuing
the student welfare
of meal cards?
Needy students are to be safeguarded through provision of sufficient milk vouchers.
The issue is this: we issued the meal cards.
But now you issued them in the... take, for instance, this needy student who is going to an examination stomach empty, without anything.
Balozi, kindly allow me to say this. The meal cards were issued.
At what specific time?
They were issued during exam time, and I have said it very clearly. The reason that we issue meal cards during exam time is because we assume that people are very low economically, and we will not want any comrade to be stressed when they are taking exams. And that is why we issue it at that specific time.
Okay. We'll carry on. Madam Chair, now that you are leaving office, can you describe your experiences as the chairperson and provide examples of how the university has impacted on you directly on you, the university?
Amazing. I have never been in such a capacity of leadership before. And I can say it has been a very good experience and an amazing experience, because it has not only transformed me as the Eusa chairperson, but it has transformed me as a leader and as a human being, because I've gotten to have one-on-one interaction with the lecturers and professors. These are intellectual people who you need to be very clear and who you need to have a lot of knowledge on what you are talking about before you get to them. So I can say they have really advanced, the university has really advanced my leadership skills to another level. And the exposure that I have gained from this seat, because I have been able to represent Egerton University in the National Prayer Breakfast, which never used to happen before. I've been able to represent the university in the Corporate Career Awards, where I got the Best Female Student Leader of the Year. So it has been an amazing opportunity, the exposure. I managed to go to a very popular media station and have had very many interviews on so many levels. So the exposure has been on another level, and I cannot be more grateful.
Yeah, well, we would like to thank you very much for your insights. As we head on break, we will wish you to think about this. What are your thoughts on running for the presidential seat for the second time, considering the fact that you are on your third year of studies? Ladies and gentlemen, this was the big conversation with the president, the chairperson, Egerton University. I'm Dickens Omolo, your host.
I'm Nice Jonathan, your host.
Yeah, let's meet after the break.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
underground.
This is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up, let the speakers boom. Go.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. You, irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Coilib for my business has really been a point of growth because I've seen my business move from one point to another. And you know, with Coilib, you get to understand the business aspect of it and how to make money.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
I want to recommend very highly Coilib to every youth out there who has an idea that they want to bring on board. This is a place where you'll be incubated, so to say. You, irrespective of how rugged you feel your idea is, you come to this place and we will continuously work on you to make sure that the idea that you have is refined and at least you become the person.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Coilib for my business has really been a point of growth because I've seen my business move from one point to another. And you know, with Coilib, you get to understand the business aspect of it and how to make money.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate.
Coilib for my business has really been a point of growth because I've seen my business move from one point to another. And you know, with Coilib, you get to understand the business aspect of it and how to make money.
Coilib Incuba. Innovate, invest, incubate. We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
Underground.
This is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up, let the speakers boom. Go.
Well, welcome back. It started with the promise contained in a manifesto, the slogan, let's make Eusa work. But then there's a plan and there's a reality. And we are back in the big conversation. Back to my question, Madam Chair. What is your insights about getting back to the presidential seat?
Okay, thank you for that, Dickens. It's been quite a journey, like I said before. And I feel like I have done what I should have done for Egerton at large and Eusa as well. And so in my 4th year, I would like to spread my wings onto other things and onto other platforms of leadership. So, and also plus, a good soldier knows when to leave. I feel like my right time is now, and I will not be vying in the next election.
Are you trying to insinuate you are putting your hands down, beating your hands down and saying you're surrendering, like you're not vying again?
No, I'm not vying again.
For any seat, like a Congress, a class rep, or either?
Dickens, I have said that I will not end my leadership journey here. I will want to exercise my leadership onto other platforms beside Eusa. And so I will want to, and I feel like I have done everything that I should have done for Eusa. And that is why I'm choosing to not to vie in the next elections.
Okay, and in what ways do you think your regime is far much better than your predecessor's regime?
That is not how I value, or that is not how I view leadership.
I meant in what ways do you think your regime is better than the previous regime?
If you notice very well, Eusa does not have a motto, unlike Egerton University, where it is transforming lives through quality education. And the reason is every leadership comes with its own mantra, and every leadership is personalized to achieve the goals of that specific academic year. So I will not sit here and compare myself to the previous leadership. We all had our various challenges, and challenges are never the same in any tenure. So according to our tenure and the challenges that were posed in our tenure, I feel that we have done to our level best as Eusa 2023-2024.
Thank you. And now that we are all aware that the political drums are hitting hard, and we are having forthcoming elections in very few weeks to come, maybe do you have till now any preferred candidate or any candidate that you've endorsed to vie for the chairperson position, Egerton University?
No.
Thank you.
Na mwenyekiti, ni changamoto zipi ambazo umezipitia katika changamoto zipi ambazo umepitia wakati umekuwa rais wa shule kuu ya Egerton? Labda unaweza fafanua.
Amazing. So changamoto ni nyingi sana. Na nasema kwamba uongozi ama kiongozi bora huwa haangaliwi kwa mambo ambayo haezi yafanya, lakini kwa mambo ambayo anaweza yafanya na ayafanye vizuri kabisa. Kwa hivyo nimekuwa na changamoto nyingi sana. Ya kwanza ni kwa sababu ya mimi ni msichana ama mimi ni mwanamke. Na hiyo huwa inaleta changamoto nyingi ambazo hatuwezi zuia kama culture ama kama utamaduni wa Kiafrika, lakini tumeweza tumeweza kupitia hizo changamoto na tukaibua washindi. Na pia changamoto ambayo imenipiga sana haswa kama kiongozi ni kwa vile ambavyo nilisema hapo awali kuhusu vile ambavyo wanafunzi wetu walifaa kwenda nyumbani kwa sababu hawakuweza kuclear Fs zao na retakes zao, lakini tunasonga na mambo yanaendelea vizuri. Najua in the years to come mambo hayatakuwa ambavyo yalikuwa kitambo. Mtu atakuwa anamaliza 4th year na unaenda na unafanya mambo yako, una graduate vizuri na unaenda unaajiriwa kwa sababu una cheti cha university. So shida zimekuwa nyingi, lakini the beauty of it is tumeweza ku overcome hizo changamoto zote na tukakuwa hapa.
Labda kuna changamoto yote uliyoona chuo kikuu na sasa unapokuwa unaondoka ofisini umeweza kuitatua, changamoto ambayo uliipata na hiyo hao wengine waliokuwa viongozi wengine waliokuwa hapo awali na umeweza kuitatua?
Changamoto zimekuwa nyingi.
Za uongozi wa hapo
yes,
awali.
zimekuwa nyingi sana. Not only we have had many challenges, not only in the field of education but also in terms of welfare. And I can say that when we came to leadership, we realized a big problem that we don't have, as we are issuing the meal cards are never enough. In fact, the reason we issue them towards the end is because they are not only because of exams, but also because they are not enough for such a large population. And so we managed to talk to the Egerton University Alumni Association, where I am privileged to be a board member, and we requested them to be able to set aside funds in the coming financial year, to set aside funds specifically to issue meal cards. And so in the next, in the beginning of September, where I will not be the president, I know there will be a big change in terms of students being assured of a meal at least each and every day. Because the biggest challenge our comrade faces is kuinama. And it is lack of food. It is lack of assurance of that one meal every single day. So if we are able to be successful in lobbying for those funds, it will be such an amazing opportunity. And also, we also realized that the clubs were not as empowered and as involved before. And clubs are the associations in which an average student of Egerton University belongs to a single club. So there was need to touch the club so that we can touch the student directly. So we have had Clubs Day, and we are also going to have many other engagements where we have been looking towards scholarship. Like now, the Diamond Trust Bank issued 5 internship opportunities for 5 students in Egerton University, and we are able to offer that opportunity to clubs that are involved in that are affiliated to matters economics and finances. And so that is what we want to do. We want to bring on board all those various funds and scholarships that are out there that can help to boost our clubs and associations directly. And also on top of that, we are working on a policy. We are working to review a policy. It is still in progress. We are working to review a policy that will see to it that clubs are able to benefit directly from outside sources. So we are still writing it, we are still editing it in consultation with the administration, so that by the end of our term, our clubs will be able to benefit from outside help. Yes.
Na mwenyekiti, hivi ni kwamba umeguzia swala la chakula kushughulikia hilo tatizo. Inamaanisha hivi kwamba siku zijazo wataweza kupata chakula kutoka siku za kufungua mpaka tunapofunga shule.
That is what we are anticipating, that every needy student will be able to have at least a meal every day when we lobby for these meal cards to be increased, so that we can have an adequate amount of supply of meal cards throughout the semester.
Shukran.
Yeah, Madam President, I'm still on my question. The first question, you didn't provide a specific or straightforward answer on your manifesto launch. You promised something about student mothers. I request you issue exactly what you did about them, not what you are planning to do, because you and I both know you have at most 4 weeks or 8 weeks.
Dickens, this is what I said. We have been working hand in hand with the Congress Gender and the Department of, or the Institute of Women and Gender Development. And we revived the daycare center. We revived the daycare center, and we have a nurse who is in charge of every student, or not every child who is brought to that daycare center. And we have managed to offer it at an affordable price. So that is what we have done.
Involving the gender, again, you promised that you will support gender mainstreaming through involvement of student clubs. This is your manifesto I'm reading. Student clubs like Gender Students League, Women Students Welfare Association, WOSWA, Red Cross, and peer counseling associations. Have you, as Eusa, directly involved yourself? Again, another question. You had promised to streamline reporting channels for GBV and sexual harassment cases for both residents on campus and non-residents, Jokerio, Ahero, Gate, Kwarait, Makuti Town, etc. What did you do about the same during your reign?
Okay, I will answer the second part of the question because I have not understood the first part. So on the second part of the question where you have asked of the various health centers that we have established, I believe that we have been admonishing or encouraging every Halls Congress person through the Department of Welfare under Eusa to ensure that every matter's welfare, they are dealt with, and our ears are on the ground as Eusa leaders to ensure that every problem that that the students are facing, we are aware of it and we are able to solve it on the ground.
So as we talk, is there any helpline report desk that is functioning at this moment?
There is no helpline report desk.
But it was in your manifesto that you will establish report desks.
You know, you cannot rule out what we have not yet done because my term is not yet over. And until it is over, that is when we will talk about me not having achieved 100% of all this.
So you are insinuating that you are going to achieve this one in this remaining time that you have.
Yes.
And again, on my second question, during manifesto, you said that you will support gender mainstreaming through involvement of student clubs, like Gender Student League, Women, WOSWA, Red Cross, and Peer Counseling Association. As EUSA, directly, have you gotten involved in the clubs directly?
I'm glad because this is a manifesto we wrote before we got into leadership. And we always aim for the stars, but when we reach for the moon, it's also okay. So we realized that with our team, we realized that when we came back into office, we looked into that proposal, into that manifesto and that particular item. And we realized that if we empower only those mentioned, those clubs that are mentioned there, it will create a big conflict of interest. And that is why, as EUSA, we cannot be directly involved in those specific clubs that have been mentioned. And alternatively, we have sought to help every club, not only on matters gender, but also there are clubs that are on matters economics. There are clubs that are related to matters media, like journalism club. So every club we have established a system. Because most club leaders...
Just to cut you, for instance...
allow me to finish. Because most club leaders have expressed their biggest concern is not being able to get external help directly from organizations outside Egerton University. And that is why I have said that we are working on a policy to ensure that clubs are allowed to directly be involved in to seek for external financial help. So we could not have... When we got into office, we not only focused on these few clubs, but we also enlarged our scope to be able to cater for the general welfare of the students on a general perspective.
So when you say that you aimed for the stars, but you reached at the moon, are you trying to insinuate that you promised something you couldn't deliver? And again, you've said you've directly impacted on clubs. Glad I am from Journalism Club. What have you impacted in Journalism Club?
We held a clubs and organizations day that every club in Egerton University was invited. And every club and association in Egerton University was invited and involved in the whole process. So we have done a lot when it comes to clubs. It might not be seen right now, but in future or in a few months to come, we are going to see the results of all of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Na mwenyekiti, mawakilishi wa madarasa walipolalamika kuhusu swala la malipo yao, uliwahakikishia kuwa watalipwa na katika wakati ufaao. Labda manake hawakulipwa, labda fafanua zaidi kilichofanyika.
So I admit the class reps issue has been a very big issue. And we have over 400 class reps, both in main campus and in town campus. It is a huge number. And we have also been able to benchmark in various universities during our tenure, including Moi University, University of Nairobi, Maseno University. And we've realized that we are one of the very few universities that pay class reps, and we have committed ourselves to continue doing the same, to pay our class reps, because it is not ideally payment, but it is appreciation of the great work that they do. And so as we promised, and I can remember some time back, the class reps complained that they cannot allow to be paid just once a month, because an allowance for a class rep is 400 shillings per month. So that payment of just once a month, they said that it might be minute, and it might not make such a big difference. And so they requested, I'm talking of the previous years, they requested for them to be paid a lump sum after a certain period of time. So what that does is it creates a big like right now the money that we are paying them is for the 3 months. It is for 3 months, and that amounts to over 700,000. So processing that amount and ensuring that they are paid in cash, in individual after individual, is a long process, and it has been a tiresome process. But I am glad to say that the process is now over, and in a week's time, in a week or two, they will be paid. Because now what we are doing right now is we are compiling the list. We are now writing the list to ensure that every class rep is paid. So the process was a long process, and we are already done with the process. And in a week's time, they will be paid. And also, please, comrades, come back to school bana. Nyi ndo mnafanya tusifanye mambo ingine. So I want to believe that by next week, to avoid any mishaps, most students will have come back, and especially most class reps will have come back, so that we can pay them, and when we are sure that every student is here.
So the president, you're trying to insinuate that the students' absenteeism from school is deterring you from paying the class reps?
I have not said that. I have said it was a long process, and we have finished the process, and in a week's time we will be releasing the money to them.
Kwa hivyo mwenyekiti, una uhakika wawakilishi watalipwa baada ya wiki mbili ama moja?
Yes, I'm very
Precisely
sure.
What time?
I have said in a week or two we will be able to pay them.
Okay, I have a question here since we are online. I'll quote. Nilikuwa nawashwa kuuliza swali. I haven't seen the university support clubs activities, and I'm hearing the president speaking about clubs. There was a time the school bus would only be given if it's an academic trip. Academic trip. National tree planting was supported because of PR. First beneficiary was the management. The other club and activities day, tuliambiwa tuseme our issues. Then what? Nothing happened. Time orientation, priority is given to specific major clubs, Red Cross na peer counseling. Time events, we fuel, then also pay drivers. Kindly provide insights about this.
Okay. So I would want to admit that I feel whatever that student is saying. And in matters clubs, it is a big issue. Starting with the issue of the buses and them not being able to access the buses. That one we are very much aware of, and it has come to our table. And I am saying the thing that will save every club in Egerton University is reviewing of these policies, because there is currently a policy that is that is working, and that the one that they are using right now, it states that the buses should be used for academic trips only and academic purposes only. So it has caused deterrence to our social welfare clubs, and our clubs are social welfare clubs. So why deal with the branch of the problem rather than deal with the problem from the roots? And so that is why I am saying that we are currently working on a policy review in connection or in collaboration with the school administration, that will see to it that, number one, the clubs are allowed to have buses and to be able to use the school buses. And number two, we are looking into a scenario where the clubs also complained that they are not able to access funds from outside when they want to. And so that's why I want to review the policy to allow every club that is registered under Egerton University to be able to to get external funding and to be able to help themselves as a club.
Yeah, we have other questions, but I'd like to add something on top of what you've explained. As the EUSA board, you as their driver, let me say as the chairperson, is there any amount or fee that you can be chipping in during clubs or different club activities? And if yes, have you done so?
We are looking into a more complex process of solving this problem. And if you have noticed, our shops in around Egerton University have been closed for quite some time. And they are under Egerton University Student Association. And I can assure you from the very beginning, from the time we took over office, we have been trying, because initially what happened is these shops were run by the associations, the different clubs and associations in Egerton University, but they were being managed by the Egerton University Student Association. So, and in that collaboration, you will see that because of the money and the profit that is gained from the shops, the associations will be able to help themselves. And so we have, in regards, so we saw that and we looked at the situation and we were like, we have to bring back the shops, because if we look at our budget, it is always never enough. In fact, we always want to look for more and more sources of funding, because it is always never enough to cater for all the needs of the Egerton University students in one academic year. So we have rolled out the program. We have already submitted the proposal to the administration, and we are looking forward to a positive feedback from them. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for us.
Thank you. There's someone asking here, there are some first years who have not received semester 1 scholarship, yet have paid all the household should pay. What action have you taken for this?
Yeah, we are aware of that there are some students who have not been able to acquire the scholarships. And to the continuing students, you can attest to the fact that HELB always has its issues. There is a time an average student does not receive a HELB loan, and now this one requires further help and further consultation from the HELB offices. So it is a misdoing from the side of the HELB, and we are looking into ways in which we have already been in talk with the Dean of Students, and in a few days' time we are going to have the HELB officials come and be able to help those few students who have not been able to receive their scholarships. And I would advise, before we do that, I would advise every first year out there, please visit the Huduma Center and specifically the HELB offices for you to be helped directly, because the issues with some of them not getting the scholarship are personalized. So I would advise, in the meantime, before we bring the HELB officials, let us go into the HELB offices.
Madam Chair, we had this viral video of your Secretary General going viral, of him counting bundles of notes, 1,000 notes, shilling notes, and saying that he is waiting for the Eusa elections. Are these the type of leaders you are in the Eusa?
You know, I'm speaking on behalf of Egerton University Student Association, and I believe I think you should ask him that question, because I don't know the intentions or the motives of that. So, but in the capacity of the Secretary General, he has done his best. So for other things outside the mandate of the office and the roles of the office, I am not answerable to that. I don't have any mandate to answer that question.
We have a question here. As you approach retirement, reflecting your remarkable tenure, I'm curious to know, what aspect of your time as university president do you consider the most fulfilling or impactful?
I cannot really put my fulfilling moments into one, but I can say that, you see, when you are in such a leadership position, the new problems come up every time. Like today, the major problem we are dealing with is the first years and the issues of them getting scholarships. So new problems arise every time in my tenure, and every day I go to bed having fulfilled or answered or helped a student solve a particular problem. That one becomes my greatest success, and I am fulfilled every single day.
Madam President, in your manifesto, you promised to check on the sanatorium issue
Uh-huh.
of the supply of drugs.
Yes.
What have you done till now that you are remaining with time to retire?
I can say that we have tried in the sanatorium. We have had our fair share of problems, but we have tried because I have personally been to the sanatorium to get treatment towards the end of the last semester, and there I was issued drugs. So we have tried our best, and I know that drugs are available in the sanatorium right now. And in terms of the ambulance, I am aware that even the students have been complaining about the unavailability of the ambulance. But I want to let us know that the ambulance is serving the whole vicinity of Egerton University. And once maybe it takes a student from here to PGH, and maybe a student is suffering from FAS at the same time, it is hard for them to multitask and to be in all places at the same time. But I can say overall we have tried in the sanatorium.
Yeah, I have got another question here. Someone speaking that on your manifesto you spoke about the research and innovation. What do you do to ensure that the university remains at the forefront of research and innovation in its field of research and innovation?
Amazing. So I love the fact that this manifesto, we did not write it before we got into office. And we realized that matters innovation and research, they are way beyond us in the scope of Eusa. But I have seen the university led by our able Vice Chancellor. I have seen the university win various awards in terms of research, especially this year. And I have seen them make amazing steps towards ensuring that research and innovation is at our forefront, especially on matters agriculture. So I cannot fully speak on that one because it is beyond my jurisdiction.
Madam President, respectfully, out of the conversation, it's deliberate, or it's kind of, someone can notice that you're saying after the election, you realize that what was in the manifesto cannot be met. So were you guys writing the manifesto out of excitement, or what was your intentions while writing the manifesto?
So you know when you get, it is the owner of the shoe who knows where the shoe pinches the most. And so before we wrote this manifesto, we were not the owners of the shoe. But when we got into office, we realized that there were things that were beyond our power, and others we could only lobby for or advocate for certain changes to be made. And we have done our best. We have done our best in regards to our manifesto. Everything that is within our power, within our absolute mandate, we have been able to achieve, and are proud of that.
Madam Chair, in the Wi-Fi sector, there's a time you spoke about that when you had a class rep meeting. So what have you worked on ensuring that the installation is done here?
On the issue of the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So we raised the same issue during our induction training where our Vice Chancellor was in attendance. And he assured us that there is an overall plan of the school for them to ensure that we have Wi-Fi being set up in all over the school, not only in specific areas of the school, but also everywhere in the school. So I believe they are working on that. There are also some trenches that I have seen being dug, if you have noticed. So I believe that the work is in progress, and we can't wait to be able to enjoy Wi-Fi, yes, in a moment's time.
Yeah, and how about the hostels? People are complaining that they pay the accommodation fee, and yet only few changes are done in there. Their mattresses are worn out, and such. They are not being worked on.
Okay. Yeah. So I would like to appreciate the fact that it is during my tenure that we were able to launch the first phase of renovating the old hostels. And the school has started with Ruenzori hostels. And in consultation with the administration involved, they have told us and assured us that they are renovating phase after phase of every hostel. And you have noticed that we now have the Mara, now have the Mara Nini hostels, and they are in good condition. They have good beds and all that. But also on top of that, the health department, they have tried their best. We work with them we have a very close relationship with them, and they have tried their best to ensure that they fix every problem in every hostel. The problem with most of our students, unfortunately, is we don't report. When a socket is faulty in our rooms, we don't report that. And we need to report these things. When there is no electricity in our hostels, we have to report to our various halls congresses so that they can report to the larger department. But I believe that we're headed in the right direction in matters accommodation.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to ask these few questions, and then I throw back the ball to the crowd, who will ask some few questions before we sum up the day. There's someone here asking, there is this student who never registered for the retakes. Can she be allowed to register for the retakes? The second question, issue about the increment of the second year fees. Would you please highlight about that? Someone is again asking, what's her CF? Why is she not vying for next elections?
Okay, so I think I will answer one question at a time. And I think the first question was about?
Somebody had not applied for the retake. Can she do it?
So it depends it depends on which semester this person had their retakes, because the retakes are still ongoing. So the second semester cohort, the people who had retakes in their second semester, they are applying for them right now. Yes, and but for those ones who had not applied for the retakes in the first semester, now we will. It will take further negotiations in the coming academic year, because they can obviously not do them in the second semester because they are not available. So we are looking into ways in which we will negotiate on their behalf. Although I think I will have finished my tenure, but the leadership of that time will ensure that those people are able to clear their Fs and their missing marks, because that was the goal from the very beginning.
Yeah, finally, Madam Chair, of course you have your deputy, Mr. Redska Daniel, and as you guys were forming the alliance, of course you had agreed that I'm taking my one term and leaving you your second term. Are you trying to? Okay, will you confirm this, that you are bidding him success or supporting him? And again, someone is again asking here that, Madam Chair, you have talked about your achievement and accomplishments. What keeps you motivated as a Eusa Chair, despite the fact that you are facing opposition from students who don't believe in your leadership and say you are doing nothing?
Okay. I will start with the first question. And like I said before, our able Vice Chair, Mr. Redska Daniel, he has done very well in the capacity of a Vice Chair. And in any case, if he wants to vie this time round, I wish him all the very best.
So to mean you are stepping down and honoring your agreement for taking one term and leaving one term for Redska Daniel?
I would want to wish my Vice Chair all the very best if he wishes to vie for the next elections.
So you're already wishing him all the best?
I wish him all the best. I wish him all the best.
And why are you not vying for the second term?
I will want to repeat what I answered. And I said this. I feel like I have done everything I should have done for Eusa. And a good soldier knows when to leave, when you have accomplished everything you felt that it was within your power to accomplish. And the third reason is because I would want to explore my leadership skills on other leadership platforms. And that is why I will not be vying in the upcoming elections.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this was the big conversation. And we had Cynthia Wanini, the Eusa Chair, with us. We heard her talk about the shortfalls, the shortcomings, the achievements, and all that she has done. And she's saying that she will retire a happy and a proud leader as she delves into the outer world, the outer political scene, to face all that is there. So I was your host, Dickens Omolo.
I was your host, Nice Jonathan.
Thank you.
We hustle.
We go through.
Access granted.
We win.
We lose.
Access Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
In everything, we dust ourselves.
We are the majority.
You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here?
If you haven't guessed by now, I'll tell you who we are.
It's me. Hi.
We are the empowered youth.
On air, underground.
And this is our podcast, the EY Podcast.
Turn it up, let the speakers move. Go.